more. Bia ti ngibukan baseche gifoi bia gifoi bia na gifoi bia. Sure long as the pain shield takes over your long
I can tell you now we gonna be famous.
Hey, get it. Oh, Tiwa Juan Cho, Tiwa Juan Bro. Hey, hey.
I can tell you now we gonna be famous.
I kulunyelwa emlilweni. I kulunyelwa emlilweni. Thula.
I can tell you now we gonna be famous.
Manongo, kilo, jag, kurani, fame.
I can tell you now we gonna be famous.
Manongo, kilo, jag, kurani.
Hey.
Manongo, kilo, jag, kurani.
Hey.
Excellent. Medaphorz.
Yeah.
Please introduce yourself to those who have never met you, sir.
Yo, Bafithlile, the name's Meda. I am the 13th letter of the alphabet. Yo, it is what it is. I'm a rapper. I'm a graphic designer. I'm a brand owner. I'm a farmer. But yeah, you're gonna know me as the rapper Fanda. Yeah.
When did the rapping start, though?
Yo.
And what inspired it all?
Hey, when did the rapping start? Back in the days, there was an advert, I think a Sprite, some rap ad with a couple cats in there. I think this was like 94, 95. Yeah, I'm that old. 94, 95. And when I heard that ad, I was like, hey man, hey, this is dope, you know? So, Eskela, I think began to standard 3. Back then, began to grade 5. We go standard 3. So on standard 3, we did a show and tell. And I did that rap as a show and tell. I didn't even know that I was rapping, actually. To me, I was just
expressing.
Yeah, like it sounded nice, man. Then obey your thirst, Sprite, you know? Yeah. And just from that, I was like, okay, no. I'm interested in this. Years went by and I started becoming a poet. I started through poetry. Standard 8, high school, did poetry. Standard 9, my poetry turned into something boring. And I felt good yazin. And like, maybe I should learn how to do rhythm and poetry. And then I started rapping. That was 2001 or 2002. And then 2003, full on. I think I was doing matric. And I decided, good yazin, I like this. And this no good must Mphume scale. Mphume ale, you know. So no session in Netherlands, Lenasia. Told her how much good cipher. Back then there was ciphers. I don't know if ciphers still happen, you know. But there was ciphers back then, and that's where I fell in love with the art of expression, because there were more people who were doing what I had been doing with show and tell, and these guys were just spitting from the top of their heads, you know, like they talk about a Coke bottle in their hand, they talk about the 5 rand coin in someone else's pocket, they diss each other, and I was like, I want to do this.
Yes.
So I'd say 2003, 2004, I started rapping, but it was an on and off thing. Yeah. Aish, where's my kasi? Complicated. Why? Because I was born at Dube. So for the first 4 years of my life, I was Dube based. And then my parents moved to a place called Zuurbekom, Western Area Agricultural Holdings. It's like a farmstead, yama plot. They moved there, I think I was 4. This was in 1989. Yeah, 1989 they moved there. But mina bengeleza Chiawello. So Chiawello, Soweto was where my grandmother lived. So my mother grew up in Chiawello. That's why it's complicated for me to say Nkulelepi, because I would travel between the two places, whether it be Chiawello or Zuurbekom. That's where I was, and then I still had family at Dube. So nalapho benginolala khona, but I'd say ngikhulele eChiawello more, ngikhulele Soweto, even though ekhaya kuse Zuurbekom. Yeah.
Okay, Mauti Bokeleza, was it From primary school, Mabukele Shawe.
From crèche. Actually, when I did my standard 3, Mphume Shawela ngaye-Lens. That's where I started learning or being influenced by the raps and everything else, because now the lifestyle is different. Ngiyabona ukuthi lentwana zamakula zihlangane nezinye zabotaki, but the music that they listen to is different. The books that they read, the way they speak is different. It's not like where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say my lower primary and my crèche years being here Chiawello, Soweto.
Yeah.
Well, I remember around the late 80s and early 90s, there was this whole Mandela is my prison, you know. So there was this whole political thing. The Inkatha was fighting the ANC. I remember Makoko at some stage, and we had to run into the yard. So there was this whole influence, politics and your Chiccos doing songs like "We Miss You Manelo, Where Are You?" So that expression sense is something that I fell in love with, because nase esontweni. I know my mother was one person who was very religious back then. So we attended church, and I remember being one of those kids who were constantly dancing makulwa, you know. So the entertainment aspect was always in me, but I didn't know what's rap back then. Back then I didn't even know a lot of things, you know. So to answer you with what was happening then, when I was growing up, it was that whole uproar, political revolution. But my raps came at a later stage.
Yes.
So I was maybe, it was 10, 15 years later maybe.
And when you start to rap, are the politics a part of your music? What style of rap was the first one, the first go-to for you?
Definitely not politics. Definitely not politics. It was more because I had an influence in poetry. I'm coming from a poetry background. You know, yeah, I did the whole Sprite thing, sharp. But now, standard 8, I'm in love with poetry. And poetry is more to impress. Abutigi,
Yeah.
you know? So I come from a standpoint, Yoguti, I write with the intent to impress the next person. At Mageng Mamela, as long as that this guy is, he's emotional, he's got a soft side to him. And just based on that, I started learning about the LL Cool J's, and through LL Cool J, I learned of the beef that was happening back then with him and Cannibis. Then I wanted to know who's this Cannibis, and Cannibis became more of an influence to my raps than LL Cool J.
Lyricism.
Yes, because that's why you see my poetry started getting boring, because I feel like there's only so much, like that's all. Now I need to start saying something. I say in the laboratory writing. Hey, now you need to know what I rap. This is what I do. And when I get to a place or a session, I need to sound like I'm aggressive or I've got the punchlines. So through Cannibis, it became easier for me to say, okay, this is the influence that I'm going with. And I started getting into punchline raps. So I'm more of a punchline influenced rapper, but also with a bit of storytelling, because Nas, I grew up on a lot of Nas. Bafit. Yeah, hey, let's not get into it. Yeah. Yeah.
And locally, Mzansi, what is happening in the hip hop scene that is fueling the spirit? So we say, I want to be at that level.
At that time, raps, but there was your Imphatic Tabs back then, so it wasn't even like it was wonderful to sound like most of the cats who were doing it then, you know, because they had a sound, it was dark, it was dungeon. Even Nagma Seshi and Ama Cypher, niggas were dark, and I'll slice your vocal cords and tie your head in a knot, you know, that type of raps. And I've seen to you wanna go out there and impress Sester Estratid ngayo. I wanna represent ikasi.
Bafithlile were phenomenal.
Bafithlile, those,
I think for me,
what
they're the
happened to
fathers
those
of-
guys?
They're the fathers of this Motswako thing, and in as far as I'm concerned,
True.
but
Before
they never get the credit.
the sad thing about the game is the pioneer is not seen necessarily. It is the one who knows how to take that thing and put it on another level. So there's a lot of cats who did Motswako back then.
Who fell through the cracks.
You understand? Same as with Zulu rap. There was a lot of cats. There's
Zulu boy were some of those.
Zulu Boy he even came later, man. There was a guy called Abu Vice the 13th. There was Abu Ngwenya. Hey man, shit, Ndabayo, it's been long. It's been long. But those were the people who influenced Medaphorz to say, and like, okay, there's Vernac rap.
Is that when you were changing your name around that time?
Yeah, I didn't even give myself the Medaphorz name. But now I'm having an interest in, I don't want to sound American anymore. I don't want to sound like the person that I always hear. Even if I sound like him, but I'd rather write that story in my language. Because Mphume kasi. And I should be able to flip my tongue as easily as possible. Now I start learning flipping from the English to the Vernac raps. Because now I'm having the interest in the Vernac raps. And at that time, Pro Kid is now blowing. There's.
It's wonderful.
It's wonderful. There's this entire catalog. My way to. So there's this entire field. Abo Zubz, abo proverb, abo. Now hip hop is becoming hip hop. I don't care about the American hip hop no more because there's this thing of value. Now, how do I find myself doing this? And then I start learning the Vernac raps, and I meet up with these cats as Asika Slamwell, and I forgot what was the crew. But eventually they called us Lama 411. We were the 411s. And some of these niggas, they rapped in English. Most of them, they did English. So I had to stand out with my Vernac. And rapper, one of those cats was like, Mfanu ya Medara, man. Yo, ya Medara, I'm a Medaphorz. Medaphorz. And from there, it became Medaphorz. And this was like what?
The Delegate goes aside.
The Conscious Delegate fell off because there was the Imphatic Tabs, there was the Immortal Technique, there was the Cannibis. Now I'm someone else. Now I'm Medaphorz. Now I want to listen to Pro Kid. I want to listen to Umoral. I want to listen to Zubz. I want to listen to Tumi and the Volume, because now that entire field or that school of hip hop is now here in my own backyard. Let me learn from these ones.
Iskila wenzakalani at that time?
To be quite honest, iskila man. Awunaku izinto ezibhaya.
Akuna inspiration from Iskila?
No, not really. Not really, man. Because the thing is, I went to a Muslim school from grade 8, standard 6. So my entire high school, I was in a Muslim school, and it felt, honestly speaking, it felt foreign, and it felt, I felt out of place. So there was, that entire 5 years for me was just iskela. The only thing that was exciting was the hip hop, because I met people now who taught me the hip hop aspect, because Uschaba was also in the same school. I think it was like two grades above. I standard 6 and I standard 8, and I met him when I went to standard 8 and I standard 10. That's when I started now moving around with him Guma Cypher. but developing my interest slowly.
But Islam, was it not seeping in religion or the faith? You're at a Muslim school, dude.
It is, but
it's supposed to touch you. You know.
It is, but I think at that time, what I'm experiencing with the people I'm with, Eskela, makes it difficult for me to accept or ukuthi ngiphile ne religion enguleskela with, because there was a lot of racism. You know, I'm black at the end of the day, and I come from a background where I remember amongst primary, we converted. I became Muslim. I think I was 11 when my parents converted to being Muslims, and that's when they moved me from Chiawello. That's when I went to Alliance. Yeah, because now kumele ngibe namanye ama-Muslim, ngifunde indlela zabo nan. And standard 5, there was a chick bengigeleza naye, ngihamba naye nge-transport, and we had a fight. And in that fight, I remember her saying, wenza ukuthi first of all ukhonza namakula. And I was like, okay, this is it's kind of awkward, because now how do I respond to this? Like umchelivar, you know. And I took it, I owned it. I was like, okay, so what, you know. And I guess that's why by the time I went to standard 6 saying yoba nama Muslim, it was because my parents took me to that school, but it was hard for me to take that, because saying suga from a criticism you would like and I'm the only black kid in that entire scale, a primary being shy in Dube, you know, so everyone knows this guy. Namanje, if someone is watching this and was at model primary school in the year 1998 to 2000 and let's say 1, in fact 96 to 2000, gune out beida besha itopi ukawa bebangibiza uHamid. Most people knew me as uHamid. So by the time I moved over, just to carry on, by the time I moved over to a high school and learning Orinkeleza nama Muslim, signal rejection on my mina self, I'm rejecting it because I feel I'm out of place. So I'm not picking up on the religious aspect, but I am learning the morals, the values, the etiquette, the fasting, the 5 prayers, the pilgrimage. So I'm learning the culture or the religion of Islam, but also you must understand I'm coming from the religion of being a Christian. So now there's this Christian world and there's this Muslim world that is new to me, and I must cross over. Barrier to my development, but also it made me who I am now, because I'm knowledgeable on 2 religions.
Thank you.
And I'm able to say both of them I reject.
Yes.
You know, fully, because where's my religion? Where's the religion yaga koko nomkhulu nabo koko nabo? But that's a topic for another day. Askisin Bafithlile. Let's get right back to the music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kasi rap.
Yeah.
What is it to you? Because labantu what describe it bo Bafithlile, bo
Pro Kid,
bo Mawethu,
yeah,
bo Mets,
yeah,
the people that were doing it at that time. But okay, fall under the category of Kasi rap or vernacular rap. No,
yeah.
Earlier on you were saying you prefer to call it what you do. You prefer
yeah.
to call your
I prefer to be called a Vernac rapper.
Vernac rap.
So I do Vernac rap. I don't do Kasi rap.
Yeah. So what is Kasi rap to a person that is just watching this for the first time? We ask this question traditionally. What is Kasi rap to Medaphorz?
I like the fact that you are asking Khori to Medaphorz, because if you had to ask me what is Kasi rap, then I would still get back to saying, to me, Kasi rap is. And what is Kasi rap? It's, you know, like Go States. And I'm going to make an example Go States, because the whole rap movement, we adopted it from Go States. There's hood rap, there's gangster rap, there's conscious rap, there's these types of rap, but all of them you put them in a department or in a compartment, you file them according to where they should be filed. And just based on that, nje, ikasi rap for me, rap a representer the hood lifestyle. You cannot say you are doing kasi rap use suburbs. So hence, serious. Even though you can rap in Vernac, but you cannot say he kasi rap. Ngise Sentin, I do kasi rap from Sentin. Nah, no. You cannot do that. Ivang identity, writing. So, mina, I stay saying I rap ikasi. I do Vernac rap. I don't do kasi rap because kasi rap would box me. There's tracks or there's stuff or there's content that I have based on ikasi. And there's content that's Vernac, but it's based on life, or it's based on religion, or it's based on love. So I rap in Vernac.
There's also content that you rap in English.
Strictly. That's the conscious delegate in me.
Yes.
That tends to come out where I feel like any MC who's out there, because rap is a competitive sport. So any MC who's out there who maybe have listened to Medaphorz, who is the Vernac rapper, and is like, okay, no, he does Vernac rap. Listen to the English raps. Basically, it's just to remind those MCs out there who think bring it on.
Yeah.
I don't beef, but I'm accepting anything that you can bring. So
you lean on Vernac rap the most.
Yes, like I said, Guti, representing who I am, representing Ikasi. I can't represent Ikasi necessarily doing my English raps. I can do hip hop. I can represent SA hip hop.
Yes.
as a broad umbrella, doing English raps, but I can't be saying I'm rapping the Kasi with my English raps. No. Those are two different people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go. Young Sam, yep, alphabetical order. I'm a young hustler, like a brain disorder. I'm the only reason I'm disturbing your shoulder. I'm a baller, and yes, I'm a straight like a ruler. And yes, I got a nice 6-pack in the cooler. And yes, I got more gold than your jeweler. I am so hot, definition of burning. The night never comes because I'm earning the morning. You call me Spider-Man, they call me the Goblin. I be eating your girl, that's why they call me